Hello. Welcome to another Kajabi Fireside Chat. I'm Sue from the Unicorn Advisory, and I am so excited. I think I've said that every time. I'm so excited, but I'm extra excited to have Steph, Vice President of Commerce from Kajabi, showing off the thing that got the most excited cheers at Kajabi Hero Live. There was yeah, the most noise.
I'm equally excited to be here. So it's shared too. I think the whole team's been so excited to be a part of these. But yeah, this one in particular, I've been stoked. So
Yes, we've had a lot of people saying they're very excited for this. But how I'm starting all of these sessions. So I know who you are. We've chatted many times, but for people who are joining us for the first time, maybe it's their first introduction to the beautiful Steph. Please tell us, what is your role at Kajabi and what do you look after?
that's a great question. So I'm the VP of Commerce at Kajabi. So it means that I look after the very talented team that does everything to do with payments, checkout, offers, basically the core of like creator commerce, like what everybody is using to be able to monetize. So we look after, offer pages, payment flows, checkouts, the coupons, the discounting, anything to do with money is basically our team. We get such joy in looking after that and seeing so many successful creators out there. So yeah, I've been doing that, and I've been at Kajabi nearly 5 years now. And our team has grown quite a lot. And yeah, this team started 5 years ago when I joined the company, and we've just created this heavy focus on this area. And obviously Kajabi payments being one of the more notable things that we released in the last year or so. But yeah, this team has been responsible for the pay what you want pricing, the pop-up checkouts, a lot of the changes to offers that we've done. Like, yeah, they do a lot, and it's an absolute joy to be able to look after them.
Yeah, well, one of the things I took away from Kajabi Hero Live was that there's such a strong focus on Kajabi wants to help creators make more money, and hence why your team is doing so many exciting projects. So, and one of them being shopping cart.
We finally did it.
You finally did it. So, tell us how shopping cart is going to be different to what we have now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is something that I think everyone's trying to work out, like, how does this work? How do I use this? Is this applicable to me? So when we think about Kajabi, like prior to this existing, it's been very focused around like single checkout pages, which we still believe is incredibly important. Those are not going anywhere, so nobody panic, please.
Yes.
But they're really geared around like they're great for launches, when you're packaging up your course, membership sales, like when you're adding them into your funnels, attaching them to your ads. So like the core will probably still be that the majority of Kajabi heroes will absolutely continue to use the single offer checkout pages. Hopefully the new pop-up checkout, since it has a really slick experience. So those are standing, but what we heard from heroes is they wanted something else. I think this started to come up a lot, honestly, in 2020 when we had sort of different types of creators joining Kajabi. We had people working in like certain hobbies, folks that were taking like physical businesses and moving them online. There was a lot of fitness that moved to Kajabi. Like I remember a dance studio moved on to Kajabi at the time. And while they do have like big offerings as far as like bundled memberships and things like that, they also just had a lot of content. So we've heard that people just have this existing content, and I know through we've spoken about this before. As a creator, you just create a backlog of stuff, and it doesn't always make sense to bundle it into your launches, but you're happy to sell it and monetize from it. So we kept hearing from folks like, I just want to have a store on my website. I don't want to have to sign up for Shopify because it's not physical goods, it's digital goods, but I have all these like templates, like Excel sheets for people, workbooks for people, like accountability checklists has been a huge one that people love to buy, beautiful branded accountability checklists. They're like, I want to put it up on my website. It doesn't really seem to make sense to have to make a separate checkout page for all of them because people actually like to buy a variety of them. I want to be able to sell more than one offer in a single transaction. So that was like one big part of it. We also had a lot of folks starting to talk about other things where they were wanting to buy multiples of single offers. So one of the things that we do at Kajabi, which I feel like some of our heroes who've been with us for a while kind of get it now. We launch things in pieces. So when we get to the actual cart, you guys will see this is a very early phase of it. But earlier in the year, hopefully some people saw us launching the quantity drop down in checkout. And that was our first go at letting one of your customers buy more than one of a single offer, the cart now opens that up to, you can still do that as well as buying multiples of many offers. So creating that true like shopping store experience. So we see them really going hand in hand. We just have seen so many interesting applications already of folks who have the evergreen store on their website, but then also continue to have their offer checkout pages pushing their bigger offers, like typically their memberships and things like that.
Yeah, and there's a strategy that Elizabeth Goddard teaches, which is called the everything page. And a lot of people have these everything pages, which is where you list all of your offers, because whilst, funnels probably aren't going to go anywhere, despite, the biggest word of Kajabi Hero Life, simplicity, which I think for a lot of people is, as we've created all these things, there's a craving to strip it back. But like you said, what do you do when you strip it back and you focus on one core offer, but you have all these other things that are still valuable? People would still want to buy them if you make them available. They just aren't going to be in that traditional, big sales page. Like creating a store page and everything page just opens up opportunities. And oh my God, I'm excited. I'm so excited.
The other thing that I found interesting is folks trying to leverage the existing way we were doing it to create these bundles. So maybe they had like two things that they offered. So they're like, okay, it's easy. You can buy the two things individually, or I'll make one offer with them together. Then they started having more than two things. They're like, okay, now I have four things. Now I've got to create all the different permutations of the grouping, which is a really confusing experience for a shopper as well. So just giving the ability for people to purchase what they want in their everything store.
Yes, exactly. There's so many opportunities now that this is gonna give us, and it streamlines it as well, like being able to just click around. And one thing though that you did mention to me, which I think is important, Kajabi's not trying to be Shopify with this. We're not trying to replace, because there has been a big move as well to a lot of people selling these digital products on Shopify. But to be honest, there's a lot of people who've done that and then come back because it's a giant pain in the ass. Excuse my French. But so you're not trying to replace that full e-com shopping experience. It's still really digital product focused, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, look, if somebody wanted to do a little bit of like swag, for example, like maybe you guys at the Unicorn Advisory are going to have like your hats, maybe some mugs, things like that. Like, could you use it for that? Yes, you could. You would have to work out you'd have to work out like your fulfillment. So like, yes, you could collect an address, and if it wasn't at a huge quantity, you could export that, fulfill it. Like, yes, you could do a little bit of it, but it's not really what it's designed for. It's still very true to Kajabi, which is digital goods. I think I was really stoked that the team launched the digital downloads products. I think that's a really great example of this, because it goes well with things like templates, where it's like, it's very much a digital good. People would maybe want to select different options of what they want to buy, have it all in a single transaction and check out. What I will say is, like, we do think Shopify is the absolute best in the world for physical goods. Definitely. You'll see even with the experience when we go through the cart, there are some aspects of it that you might think, oh, that kind of looks familiar, because Shopify really has set an excellent standard for small and large business checkout experiences. But not all of the experience makes sense with digital goods, but there's certain aspects that do. So what we've really tried to do here is take like our expertise at Kajabi, which is digital goods, and create a shopping experience that makes sense for creators for digital goods.
Yes. I love it. So Steph's going to show us the new shopping cart. But before she does, if you have got questions for Steph around the shopping cart, we're going to talk about the future. We're going to show you what's available now, and then Steph's going to talk about what's going to come up in the future. As always, I have 100 questions, because that's what I do. But I don't want to dominate the questions, because I'm sure that other people have got questions and things that might relate to your own business, and whether, what it will do, what it can't do, what might be coming in the future. So please do put them into the chat as we go, and then we'll do a bit of a Q&A at the end. But shall we unveil and have a look at
absolutely. And while it's getting unveiled, what I'll say as well is this is the very, very, very early view of this. So we only have a couple very special heroes. So you're one of them who's taking this thing for a bit of a spin. This is, like I said, we like to release things early and get feedback. So this has plenty more that's going to be coming soon. So don't think that anything I'm showing here is all that it's going to be, because there's a lot more to come. But it's actually really valuable even in this state. So we're seeing the couple of folks who are doing early testing for us are already loving this. We had somebody run an early Black Friday sale through this, and 30% of their purchases were actually multi-offer, which was fantastic.
That makes me excited because we're using it for Black Friday. That's when we're doing the big unveil. So I'm excited to hear that.
All right, so let's go through this. This is just an example page here. This is just one way to lay this out. So one thing that's really important to us at Kajabi that I spoke a lot about at KHL is we constantly are trying to sort of balance flexibility. We know creators are incredibly different in what their businesses are and how they want to represent their business. So what you're going to notice as I go through this is one way to make it look, but we really wanted to introduce multiple options so you can choose a shopping experience that makes sense. So this is an example of a store page. This first one is just using our traditional offer blocks. For those that saw the exciting new theme release yesterday, you can now put CTA buttons in this example. I have add to carts here, which I'll show you.
I'm so happy.
But this is like more of like that traditional grid view style of doing a store, but you don't have to do it that way. You can also leverage pricing cards, which I'll go through more in a sec as well. Like if you prefer the pricing cards, that's probably the next step up in flexibility. As a lot of you know, these you can do the inline editing. So the titling, the text here doesn't actually need to pull from your offer and the images. Adding an image is brand new. That went out yesterday on the pricing cards. And you can now do double CTAs on your pricing cards as well. So if you want to create an experience, which is, if you think about like when you shop on like Target, for example, when you're on their page, you'll often have like an immediate add to cart or like a view more details. And maybe that goes to like a full product description page where it's like a huge detailed breakdown about what it is. Or perhaps it just pops something like a modal with more information. So this was another change that was introduced yesterday, which is not specific to the cart at all. This just means that any CTAs that you're using, you can now pop up these modals that have like a rich text editor in there. We love modals at Kajabi because it keeps people in the page. So even with pop-up checkout, that was why that has been so incredibly like successful, is because it's not redirecting them everywhere. You can create this experience even with the pop-up checkout today where they stay like in context of where they are. And then last but not least, obviously the call to action block. So anywhere there is a call to action, even when it's just the block with the call to action in there, you can turn it into an add to cart. So this is one where I just wanted to change the layout. So this is kind of what I would describe as the easiest to most difficult as far as like how comfortable you are with editing your pages, but you can really make this look however you would like. But you want to see it working, right? So you probably can already see we've got this cart icon at the top right. So super traditional. This is part of a standard shopping experience. We haven't changed this because we want to make sure that your customers like understand what they're doing. It's as simple as they just hit the add to cart button. It adds it to the cart. You'll see the number is going up. So this was really exciting the first time I saw it work. Obviously, it's very simple and working as expected, but this was like a huge moment for us to create this experience. Kajabi foundationally, when it was built, was very much tied to purchasing a single offer. So the team has done so much behind the scenes for quite a long time to be able to like unravel it so we can have this experience, which actually opens up doors for many more things to come in the future too. All right, so things are in my cart. Once they're in the cart, when they want to check out, they go into this shopping cart experience. So this is super simple at the moment. What we have in here, it shows the items that are in the cart. They can remove things out if they'd like. It'll give a subtotal. Obviously, like in the future, we're going to be adding the sales tax feature in here as well, so that like it'll do sales tax calculations when you get to the next page. One thing to note in here at the moment is I haven't got it showing here. It does support the quantity selector that I spoke about. So if you do have quantity enabled on your offers, you will get the option to go up and down in the quantities here. It also does let you put free things in the cart too. So you do have that as an option to do both one-time and free offers in here at the moment.
Nice.
When we check out, this is a super simple experience. So the checkout just shows the things. It'll have the fields in here to fill out. At the initial version we have of this, it supports collecting the name, the address, the phone number, and then you have to collect the email address. We don't let you turn that off for obvious reasons. And then all the payment methods. The initial version of this is with Kajabi payments. So you're seeing that it obviously has like Afterpay, Klarna, and Google Pay in there. However, cart is not going to be exclusive to Kajabi payments. We just built it on Kajabi payments first because it's quicker for us now to build it on our own payment processor. But we are planning to introduce both PayPal and Stripe like coming soon on that. So it's not going to be, card isn't going to be only available for folks that are in the regions where Kajabi payments is available. That was really important to us with this one. And it looks like I can see Kate's excited in the chat there.
Kate, Penny, Deidre, Mail, everyone's like, Corey's excited too.
You can also turn on the service agreement here, which I'll show you in a sec in the settings. But this is it. It's super simple. Obviously, I'm just previewing this as an admin, so I can't check out. But then you just hit pay now and it's done. It comes through as an order. So you will notice the post-purchase experience for you guys in Kajabi. You will see these as orders. So what is traditionally that purchase information page will be an order summary page for you, so you can see all the individual items. So that's the very quick walkthrough. It's super simple, super sleek. We love it. We think this is just such an easy shopping experience. The other thing to call out, if I go back to the page, obviously this is just a page. It could be a website page, a landing page. Like I know folks are going to get really creative. I can't wait to see what Penny does with this, because like you might want to, for example, this membership here, as I mentioned, the cart's only working with free and one time at the moment. But if you want to do other CTA buttons that go to other offer checkout pages for memberships or out to other places, you can do whatever you want here. Like this can really look however you would like this to look. Do you want me to walk you through a little bit of some of the additional setup here, Sue?
I think that would be helpful. And also I just wanted to add for anyone who's curious, the cart is site-wide. So if you have more than one page, like maybe you have a page for different types of offers, like if you are, you know, someone who's super creative, maybe selling patterns and classes for, you know, anything, like you could have different pages. The cart is total for the whole site. So I did find that out. I did test it going, all right, is it just for this page? Nope, it is a site-wide cart.
Yeah. And the thing is, you can choose though where you want it to show in the header. So for example, one of the folks we had testing this for Black Friday, they did a landing page and only enabled the cart on the header for that page. But you can enable this through the entire website, which is really important because for those that saw the video, and Sue, I can send you that afterwards as well, that we displayed at KHL, it showed this experience of people going around your business website and adding things to cart along the way. So again, whether it's a store page or a journey that you create, like the whole point of this is that it is a full shopping experience. So this is the landing page that I'm on, the same one I just showed you all. In the header is where the cart actually gets enabled. So this is where you turn the cart on and off. Important little quirks with this one that I will mention. Oh, if I can get that to save. Yeah, what have I done? Hang on.
No, it will. It's just a little, slow. I found.
There we go. There we go. There we go. Now we've got the cart coming in. All right. So a couple of things to note on this for everybody. I've learned a lot about themes. I've been very comfy in my payments office world for 5 years at Kajabi, and I've certainly learned the power of themes, but this is definitely something you'll see us put out a lot of help articles because the themes are so flexible. It's really easy to obviously do things in here that you maybe don't want to. So a couple fun little notes for everybody. Make sure with your header that you're you've got your menu and or your logo visible, because the cart will not be visible. If you have the whole menu hidden, the cart will obviously not be visible. So making sure at least the logo and or the menu is there. The other important one that we wanted to call out is the mobile layout. Please make sure that you do not have this checked. You want to make sure that the header is not hidden at all on mobile, because I would hate for anybody to make a beautiful experience and then your buyers go onto mobile, they're adding things to cart, and where is the cart? So just make sure that it is visible in your header, and this will be in the exact same place when you are doing this on the website pages as well. Obviously, since I mentioned theme, another really important note, do your theme updates. Cart is only supported on the Encore themes. It's a really important point. So only on the newer themes that have been available. And then a new update went yesterday to enable all these new options in these blocks. So make sure that you are absolutely doing your theme updates because otherwise you will not see this option in the header to enable the cart.
And can I just mention something about that, which Penny will probably jump in with as well. If you are using a template from a third-party template provider like Penny, just check in with the template provider that you've purchased from. There are some changes that are coming as well to templates when you have purchased them, because sometimes you can't update the pages or there's just another way to do it. So or updates, just check with who you purchase the templates from.
Yeah, definitely. Very important disclosure.
Yes.
Now, on these blocks, I'm going to quickly show this and then I'll walk through the actual cart settings for those who may have noticed that option to the top left there. But okay, so these are offer blocks. These are really simple. What you'll notice with these is I can't actually edit the name, the image, the description, or the price here. That is because it's all coming from your offer. So these are actually the quickest ones to set up. So like, again, going from easiest, like if you've got your offers like beautifully tidy with images, descriptions, titles, they all look great. This might be a great option for you to use because you basically add your offer block and then simply select the offer. You come into the add to cart to show it, name it, put the add to cart function and link the offer again, and it is done. So this is by far the easiest way to do it, but it's a little bit more restrictive because every time you want to change something about this, you have to go back into your offer, which is really good practices in some cases, but not flexible enough for everyone. So we knew you needed more, which is why we did pricing cards as well. So we made a couple changes here. This is the one that you'll see that you can click in and edit all of this. Like you do want to be careful that you're not thinking that changing the label here actually changes the price of the offer. So that is like, be careful what you're doing here because it's not linked, but this does give you the ability to really change the way this looks. You can do different wording in here to what's on the offer. You can change all the bullets in the description here. And then this was a really important one, which was the secondary CTA. So under the call to action, if I keep scrolling, you will see the secondary CTA option here to be able to show it. So whoops, hang on, if I go up, this one, show secondary CTA. So you'll have the option to put 2 on there. You can change the styling of it. Those CTAs can be whatever you want them to be. If you want one as an add to cart, one going to a modal, one going to an offer checkout page, one going to a landing page, like whatever you want that to do, it's still going to maintain all the button actions that you guys are used to. Like even the pop-up checkout is in there as well. So that is the pricing card changes. And then as I mentioned, like if those layout wise aren't what you're looking for and you're a little bit more advanced and comfortable working within these sections of your pages, just do this, which is just simply the call to action block. Just chuck in a call to action block, same thing. Choose the add to cart as the action and then link your offer. Put in what you want the name of the button to be and then just build everything around it. So that's kind of your options from easiest to most advanced so that this can be as quick or detailed as you want it to be, depending on your business. And you really can make it look however you want to make this look. So let's talk about the cart settings. These are pretty simple and light in the beginning. So let me show you what those are. So the cart settings. So once this is released, you'll all see a new cart option under your sales menu. Now, this is probably going to turn into far more, but in this very early stage, this is just the simple styling settings of the cart itself. This is certainly just first pass at it. We're really interested to hear feedback on what else people are wanting to change in here. But for now, super simple, choose background colors, the radius, what you want the text to be. It was important to us that we kept that customizable for you, both in the cart and the checkout, because keep in mind they're two obviously different pages. But you can set those settings really simple. Like I said, choose the payment provider. As I mentioned, we will have Stripe and PayPal available in there once we've finished building them. Choose the payment options. Sue knows that I always say, like, put them all on, like put them all on. Like you will find that like the giving your customers the way to pay that they want to pay is just one of the best ways to increase conversion rate. It's a lot of people had thoughts around like, should you put Afterpay and Klarna? Is it a choice? Let that choice be on your like customer. Like they already have an Afterpay account, they'll use it. If they already have Klarna, they'll use it. So highly recommend leaving those all on. As I mentioned, pretty limited on the customer fields out the gate here, but let us know feedback around like what you think is important if you think custom fields apply in your circumstance for cart. And then the service agreement. So this does still do just the typical service agreement, but obviously it's pulling it from these cart settings. The pricing, etc., is obviously coming from the offers themselves, but a lot of the other things are being ignored. Like it is going to obviously ignore the payment settings on the offer if it's in a cart scenario, and it will take it from here. So if you see a setting here, assume it will be ignored on the offer because it's obviously aggregating everything up to the cart. But that is the simple settings. So you can kind of do these in any order, which again, it's nice and flexible. So we're interested to see from folks like what order they like to do things, but you can change your settings quickly here for the card and what it looks like, update your theme, go build out your page first. Then when you're ready, turn it on in your header and publish your pages. So they're the different steps. And that's it. So I think most of the work is very much in the styling and setting up the pages. I think we're very excited to get some templates out there. And we know that some of our very talented heroes will be making a lot of templates as well to give a lot of inspiration. And we're actually really excited for folks to share their store pages with us, because we know that not everyone is going to do just like a standard grid. So I think we will see heroes definitely like getting creativity and inspiration from others, because there is so much that you can do with this. Oh, Kate asked a good question about offers.
Yeah.
Yes, at this point in time, it's all still offer based. So you don't need to go set up additional offers if you're happy with all the pricing on them. You just add those offers to those add to cart buttons.
Yeah, and with that terms and conditions, because it's for the entire cart, even if you have terms and conditions specific to that offer on your regular single cart, just bear in mind to make it, I guess, more generic so that it's covering the collection of things that'll be. And also, you can choose what is an add to cart and what isn't. Just because the cart is there doesn't mean that you have to put everything. It's only what you choose to put on the add to cart button. So it can be selective. You could have other offers on this page that are going into a single, taking someone to a funnel, like doing a pop-up checkout. So I really love the flexibility around that.
Yeah, and I think that was something we wanted to make sure made sense. We didn't want people creating like offers or something separately and worried like, oh my goodness, is it just going to appear in my store? Like, nope, it's only going to appear when you put the add to cart button linked to that offer. Like, it's completely up to you when and how you show this. And even when you show the cart in your header. Some people will have the store evergreen on their website. Some folks may only do this during certain sales seasons as well, that there's like a bit of like a shop frenzy moment where people can add things to cart and then they go back to their normal offering. So yeah, very flexible depending on what you would like to do with this.
All right, very, very good question from Penny and Kate. How do the automations work for things in the cart?
So they still work, the automations. I would definitely say have a think about what automations are there. We wanted to make sure those all do still trigger. So if you have automations based on an offer purchase, they will still go. But keep in mind, they might have 4 things in there. So make sure your automations don't run themselves in a circle is what I would say, which I think most folks are careful with most of the time, but it will absolutely work with the automation. So if you have tagging happening, it's not like it's going to do anything where it either ignores the automations or only chooses the first item in the cart. It will still honor the automations for everything that they purchase.
Excellent. And if you have like a upsell set up, I'm assuming that is none of that's going to show up. That's only for the single normal regular offer situation.
Correct. And we can kind of go through that. So what isn't in this yet? Because like I said, this is just a very, very early version and there's a lot more to come. So what we haven't got yet, but hopefully we'll have soon, sales tax isn't in there yet. We understand that's really important for folks. So that's something that's not here just yet. Upsells and downsells are not in this at this point in time. I think cart certainly opens up an opportunity to maybe do something a little bit different there. Like, are we talking more like recommendation style carousels? Because it's not maybe just a single upsell. Like, you're not really it wouldn't be the same process as what you do today because it's one thing and you know what they're buying. This could be all sorts of things in the cart. So I think we're definitely taking a lot of feedback and ideas on how people would like recommendations, upsells, downsells, order bumps, all that sort of thing to work, because this definitely creates interesting opportunities there. The other one I think that was referenced is coupons and discounts. This is one of the biggest areas that we are facilitating feedback on. This, again, the opportunities here are huge when it comes to discounting. So understanding from folks, like, what are you wanting to do? Like, there's very simple stuff when it comes to coupons. Like, it could just be like $1 off or obviously 1% off the cart. Like, we understand there's a need for that. But again, this opens up opportunities. If you think about like carts, and obviously most people think of physical goods, like there's all types of interesting things you can do. There's also the concept of like automatically applying promotion. So instead of having to rely on like a coupon code being entered, like maybe being able to create like a 20% off from like this time to this time situation where they aren't needing to enter a coupon code and it automatically applies. Obviously the concept of like a buy one, get one free, buy any of these and get one of these, like I think we've got lots of thoughts and ideas around it. So we would be really interested to understand from the folks that are using the cart, depending on your type of business, what types of promotions, coupons, and discounting would you want to do?
Yeah. And what's the best way? I mean, I feel blessed because I almost have a direct line to you, Steph. but what is the best way for people to give feedback? Because I believe you are like, all right, let more people test this. I want to be early testers, but there's other people who are probably dying to get their hands on this that already have a great use case. So if someone is wanting to test it and wanting to give you that feedback, what's the best way?
Definitely. Anyone who's interested in testing like this very, very early version, like I think we'll be providing an email address for people to come through. Let us know your business case for it. Like this version is very early days and we are looking for folks that have like a case out the gate that they're wanting to use it for. So let us know. But we are hoping to start opening this up to more and more people soon. But as always at Kajabi, we love to have those early testers and we appreciate Sue, you and the others who trust us and partner with us to like find any weird little like quirks in here so that we can start releasing it to the masses. So yeah, anyone who is up for testing, obviously a huge benefit is that you get to be part of that early feedback and really shape this. A lot of these changes to the themes and the blocks came out of the folks who've been the early cart testers because they were like, look, the CTA is super flexible, but it's a lot of work. Like it would be cool if we could have these other opportunities. So that's one of the big benefits to being an early tester for us. So we'll make sure the email address is provided so folks can basically apply through, but it won't be too long before this is available to many more. And as far as feedback goes, like we are going to be having feedback links specifically for cart, but you're obviously always welcome to provide feedback in many ways. Some of you know we have a very dedicated team who looks after a lot of the payments type support. So some of you are familiar with the payments.support@kajabi.com email. That's a great one to send through feedback on whether it's cart, invoicing, Kajabi payments. Like we definitely have a dedicated team who specialize in it, who handle those support requests as well as feedback. But you will see us start circulating a feedback link for cart once it's in more of an open beta because yeah, we want to know what you guys want.
Cool. Well, we've put the email address in the chat. I'm going to be collating emails and sending them through to Steph, or you can go into the Fireside community and let us know. We just need your Kajabi email account, like the account that you log into Kajabi, and I'll be collating them and forwarding them on to Steph. I've already got Kate and Penny going, hey, as soon as you are doing non-Kajabi payments, I'll be there testing. We're going to see if we can get Penny off Thrivecart.
It's a goal. It is a goal. And I think that like we're certainly getting closer with it. But I am excited to see what Penny does with templates for this.
Yes, and Penny's actually got a great question. How does affiliates work with the shopping cart? Is that the standard setup with commission that you've got? How does it work?
It is not in there yet. So that's another one that's on the list that it's not there quite yet is affiliates. I think the plan is that it will probably work the same with the affiliate links and the affiliate coupons. It's a little bit tricky because obviously there wouldn't necessarily be a link to the landing page the way that affiliates is structured right now. So I think we just need to work through that. But the affiliate coupons, I would imagine that once we bring the coupon field in, that would be very much the same as it is today.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to coupons, especially for something like Black Friday. I got a lot of products. We also sell templates, and yeah, like putting all of those products together. So I'm like, please bring the coupons. That would be super cool. But yeah, so if you want to be discounting at the moment without the coupons, then you just need to change the price on your offer or make an alternate version of your offer with a different price.
Correct.
To be able to be doing that. So have we got a rough timeline on when coupons and things like that might be coming?
Yes. We're still unpacking. Like we have a bit of an idea. We just want to get a bit more validation that like the direction we're going is what people are looking for. So I don't have one yet, but what I will say is that we know that like a lot of people are going to need that before they're going to want to use it. One of the testers who did the Black Friday sale was actually, they did exactly what you said, and they changed their offer prices and they got quite custom with their page and sort of showed the strikeout. So even like when they got into the cart, it was the discounted price that was just the reset offer price, but they were able to create like the appearance of like Black Friday sale, these things are usually this cost, it's down to here. So like the nice thing about the page setup is it was flexible enough that they could achieve that, even though we haven't got it ready quite yet.
Perfect, perfect. Maya's just got a great question, and there's a lot of us who would love this, especially people who have added the coupon code to a million different offers. Like, because you got to do it one by one. Will that be something that Kajabi would consider as doing a site-wide or multiple, make it easy, even if we just went to the drop down and ticked them all? Like, what's the coupon?
Absolutely. We were actually just chatting about that yesterday. We did a bit of a tour of coupons. I've got some amazing new product managers who joined the team, and I was like, come learn the quirks of coupons. And that was certainly one of the things we spoke about. And certainly when it comes to cart, like I mentioned, like it doesn't need to use the exact same way that we have it today, because you don't know what's going to be in there. It's just like, are we running like a promotion and a coupon that just apply to the cart no matter what? Because obviously you guys are controlling what can go into the cart anyways by the nature of the pages. So yeah, I think there's a lot of things that we're hoping to simplify and make a little bit easier from the management perspective. And some of that can also, as we like to do with Kajabi, that sometimes you all see, like while we're building new things, we kind of tweak the old things at the same time. So it's definitely something that I would like to see that we tidy up as well, because I don't think anyone's getting a huge amount of joy out of clicking on the offers individually at the
moment. No, zero joy. Nothing. Last time we had to do it, we had to apply it to 35 offers. So yeah, zero joy there. Kate has got a great question. I know the answer is no, but what is the plan? Like her question is, does the cart work with subscriptions? I'm assuming the same thing for payment plans. It's just single one-time offers.
One-time offers and free at the moment. We are interested to hear about some of the use cases for subscriptions. Like obviously that's a little bit more complicated with how structurally you guys will manage them. Like we want to make sure that when subscriptions do get introduced to a cart scenario, that you all have the exact same functionality to be able to manage that subscription individually, independent of the other things that have been purchased. So like whether that's pausing, canceling, shifting things around, changing the price of the subscription, we want to make sure that that still works independently, even if you bought 5 one-time things and a subscription. So there's a bit we need to unpack there just to make sure that like the functionality is correct, and also trying our best to keep it all in one transaction if we can, because there's obviously huge benefits to having this all just in a single transaction. So we haven't had a lot of requests for it yet. I actually thought that was going to be one of the top things that came through as people have been testing. It actually hasn't. So if anyone has a really good case for wanting the subscription in the cart, let us know. The multiple payments is a fascinating one, because it is, this one I don't think we'll do in the same way we have it today. It would be very strange to have a 4 monthly payment, multiple payment as an add to cart, also have a single one-time payment, also have maybe another multiple payment that's like 2 weekly payments, and then try and work out that checkout experience. It's probably going to be very complicated, and I can't even imagine how we'd try and explain that to the person who is purchasing it. So I can't see us doing that. What I could see us doing is for folks that aren't wanting to use the buy now, pay laters, whether it's like a regional availability thing, or maybe there's not enough volume to justify like the fee cost at the moment, or the business is just comfortable taking on doing the chasing down failed payments. We are sort of tossing around the idea of like, what would it look like just to enable a generic across the cart payment plan? Like, would it be something where like in your cart settings, you can choose like enable payment plans where it splits the whole thing in 4 monthly payments? Obviously the payments would be potentially weird and wonderful amounts because they've added all sorts of things to the cart. But we're thinking maybe something like that would make a little bit more sense for the buyer, rather than trying to like take off all the settings from the individual offers and try and make sense there.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. But with the buy now, pay later, because I come from an e-com background, so very familiar. A lot of people go, oh, but it costs more. But the amount higher that you'll convert using buy now, pay later is huge. And the biggest thing, you don't have to be the nasty person chasing down the payments. You don't have to be the one following people up. You kind of get to get a bit of separation. And when you're using that buy now, pay later, which is Klarna and Afterpay, that company is handling it, and it gives you a way to take payment plans without taking the risk. Because for us, especially with products that are those instant access like templates, we actually took the payment plan option away because it was the item that we had the biggest defaults for. For courses and ongoing things, people tend to be a little bit better about keeping up those payment plans. But for anything where they get the access and they never need you again. That was where we had a lot of issues around default. So don't be shy with those buy now, pay later options. And then having it across a cart is, fantastic. So
yeah.
I am glad to hear though that you're thinking about outside, because for me, I have the challenge of having an Australian business but selling in US dollars. So Afterpay does not love us. Hopefully, Steph, you're gonna use your clout.
They actually came to KHL. We had representatives from, and they sponsored our booth, and yeah, it's definitely a conversation we're having with them that like this matters a lot. And I think that Afterpay's been fantastic partnering with Kajabi, and this has been quite new for them, being that we obviously are digital goods in what we're enabling for all of you creators. They're used to a lot of physical goods where there's not as much obviously cross-border activity happening. So this has definitely been a learning for them, and we've told them like you need to open it up, like particularly like folks like you mentioned in Australia, like you want to sell in USD, so forcing that to only be AUD to enable Afterpay right now is a big limitation, and we know that people would use it far more. So we definitely keep passing that on to them, and they are very receptive. But similar to how we can't give out timelines, they turn that on us, and they're like, we can't give you a timeline yet.
With another question, there's a few people that haven't put the question in. I don't know if they're here or not, so I'm going to ask it for them. In terms of international sales, cross-border, multi-currency. You're just like, yes, I know.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit to multi-currency potential in a cart or in general?
So this definitely doesn't handle multi-currency yet. It does not have a concept at all of like, if this one in the middle was AUD and you added all three to cart, it's not going to know what to do with its life. So it is all single currency only at the moment, as this is going to handle. I think when we think about multi-currency, there's different factors to it. And one thing that I spend a lot of time chatting with Kajabi heroes about is not everyone understands that where the foreign exchange fees like fall, which I see a lot of Kajabi heroes being like, oh, I have one person from this country who's reached out, I'm going to make it in their currency for them, which great, but understand you'll be taking on the foreign exchange fee. So depending on, so for example, if your business is US dollars, let's use that example. If my business was US dollar based and then I was to present in euros, it is great for that buyer, but it means I'm going to get that additional fee that can be like 1 to 2% on top of the rest, which in some cases is totally fine if you know that's what you're doing. But we have certainly seen folks before set up every single currency, not realizing that they as the business owner was taking on that currency conversion. If I only present in USD and someone in that country purchase it, the buyer actually takes on the currency conversion. So that's when they see in their bank account that they purchased something in a foreign currency. So definitely something you as a business owner want to weigh up in general if you want to be presenting in lots of different currencies, because that can get very expensive in fees too. As far as how we think about it, there's different aspects to it, and I would be fascinated to know feedback from anybody here who experiences it. We've heard two things. We've heard some folks who want to set an anchor price, like for example, this 149 USD, they would love to have a currency selector that automatically does the currency conversion based on like the midday rate, for example. But it means people are going to be buying things at weird amounts. So someone's going to be then spending $211.14. So some folks are happy with that. Other folks have told us like, oh, no. I want to be able to set every single currency so the price is rounded. So we're definitely getting a little bit of both. It's been pretty even. But then we've also had some folks be like, wow, I didn't know there was a fee associated with it. I'm going to stay presenting in my own currency.
Yeah. So it's something that you're looking at, and there's lots to consider, I'm guessing.
Yeah. But yes, if people have preferences or a way they would expect it or want it to work, like send through the feedback, because we're definitely listening to that one, because it is important. Because as you guys are selling digital goods, particularly like for those selling in English, like it's not all one region that is buying from you. So trying to enable, again, buyers want to be able to pay their way, which if that means enabling a currency for them, that can be really powerful, but just be aware of your fees.
Yeah, cool. What was that email address again for the payments support?
So payments.support@kajabi.com.
Okay, so payments.support@kajabi.com. We'll just pop that into the chat. Maya has got a great question, and this may tie in for Stanley's session tomorrow about gift cards. So will gift cards be something that can be applied to the shopping payment options?
So No, at the moment. However, as Sue mentioned, Stanley's going to be joining with Sue tomorrow to talk about the new gift offers feature. So different from gift cards, that's going to be the ability to enable that someone can buy an offer on behalf of somebody else. So he'll be previewing the first version of that tomorrow. That is actually not going to be in the cart since we built these in parallel, but will eventually be a part of the card. So that's more the concept of like, I really want to buy this soap making course for Sue. I'm going to go to the checkout page, put in Sue's email address, put in like the date I want to have that delivered to her, perhaps for Christmas, and then it will be delivered. And then Sue gets the login, but the purchaser gets like the copy of the receipt and everything. So that's more like a buying on behalf of model. So we've got that launching just in time for the holiday season. Just so Stanley's going to be giving the preview of that tomorrow. We are still looking into gift cards as well. We do have a question mark over it. Most people were requesting the gift offers experience. However, now that the cart is coming out, we're expecting that like gift cards is probably going to ramp up a little bit more as a result of this. So we're interested to see how that goes when that releases, particularly as we sort of get more into next year. Like, did the gift offers solve like 99% of the cases for folks, or because of cart, are we now seeing the additional need for gift cards too?
Yeah, cool. So Kate's got some a great suggestion that everyone should move to Kajabi dollars in the whole
Correct.
world.
We'll just make our own currency. It'll be fine. No currency conversion.
Exactly. So if you are someone who is considering cart, we've got the link. Send an email to us. We're going to be compiling the email addresses, but just bear in mind, and let me know if this is correct, Steph, it's not really going to be suitable if you're pretty new and you've only got one or two products. The type of customer that at this point it's going to be most suitable for is people who've already got, a collection of offers and, maybe lots of things that you're not actively selling through launches and funnels, but you've got all of these products there that could be selling. You've created, low ticket offers, maybe some template products, some downloads. Like there's a lot of people selling things like Canva templates and, all of those kind of things. Those are perfect. So it's the type of things where people would be buying multiple of them at once.
Correct.
If that is you, Steph would love to hear from you if you are using Kajabi. So just check into the chat. Or if you are joining us on the replay, go to the Fireside Chats community. We've got a post in there. So to give you the details of how you can get in touch, I will collect that and you can be one of the early testers. You can join me. And if you want to see it in action, our Black Friday sale next week, we are going to be getting the cart set up for that, which is very exciting. Deirdre's just got a question on timeline to launch for everyone. She's got a client with a ton of masterclasses launching in the new year.
Ooh, had them reach out to see if they want to be a part of like the early testing. There'll be quite a lot of people on by that point. I think when we talk about wanting to have this available to everybody, people will often see us move in phases. So we'll go to like what we call like an open beta on our side where it'll be in that labs feature, but maybe we're still adding more to it. Like we really don't want to like take the beta label off our products until one, we've got enough of the like core features in there, and two, we've seen enough volume go through it. So yeah, that should be absolutely fine for into the new year if they want to be a part of it. It'll probably still be in a beta at that point. TBD if it will have like some of those additional things in there. But if they have enough of a need for it, even with this feature set, like definitely like send them through. We'd like love to get them up and running to give it a go. The other thing I'll say as well is those theme updates I went through in the beginning, those are applicable to everybody, not just to do with the cart. So even if you don't have a use case for the cart right now, you could set up something very similar to this with just a couple of your offers and do like the pop-up checkout instead of the add to cart button. So definitely check out the new theme updates because I think it just makes it much, much easier to create like a really nice shopping experience and just experience on your pages now. The other thing I'll mention is even if you only have 3 items, the add to cart might still be applicable if they can buy multiples. Like it might make sense to do a combination of, like I think a great example is we have a lot of heroes who teach parenting content. So maybe they will have like a sleep training course and a potty training course and teach a kid how to read. Like that might be their only 3 things, but someone would maybe want to buy all of them. So like it could still make sense, but those folks may want to lay their pages out maybe more like this in some cases. So it like takes up more space and gives more room for descriptions. But yes, if you've only got one or two things and it's like a choose this or this, the pop-up checkout's going to make way more sense.
Yeah, cool. And just before we go, you've been so generous with your time, Steph. I do appreciate you very, very much. One of the things that I have found fascinating in talking with you is I know heroes are impatient. We're all very impatient. I have my 80-page Google Doc of things that I wish Kajabi would do better, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. But can you just speak a little bit to timelines and why sometimes it feels like it takes a long time for things to come out, especially with payments?
Oh yeah, my goodness. This is something we get asked a lot, and honestly, it's because we want to be really careful and respectful to your businesses. So one thing with me and my team is like part of joining the commerce team is understanding that you are responsible for a lot of people around the world and their businesses and their revenue, and that's not something that we take lightly. So you will very much see, particularly with a lot of the commerce features, that we do very extended like testing periods, beta testing periods before we release it, because we want to make sure that it is doing absolutely everything it should be. And we are very upfront, as Sue knows, with the very early testers. Like you might find some little bugs and quirks, and it's part of the partnership with us that you get to be part of the like super early feedback, knowing that it may not be 100% there, but you help us get it to 100%. So that's why things tend to take a little bit longer from that aspect, is us just wanting to be like always respectful of what you guys do and not wanting to ever be in a situation where you guys are losing money because we put something out too early and didn't have enough people testing it. So there's that aspect of it. The other aspect of it is it's just really complicated. And I'd worked on payments before Kajabi, but when I joined Kajabi, digital goods is a very different beast. And I think that the way in which people do payments in this space is unique. So it means that as we're building things, we have to build them with the utmost flexibility. Like I think we've even seen that in this conversation. It's like just doing like a CTA button isn't going to be enough for everybody. Like everyone's going to have different needs with coupons. Some people want sales tax, some people don't. And at Kajabi, we're so blessed to have creators that span everything from teaching business to dog training to quilting to floristry. So everyone has a lot of needs from us that it's definitely a challenge, but also a privilege to be able to sort of prioritize and understand the impact, trying to make sure that we're not always releasing features for the same types of creators, but also trying to release features that are broad and they fit for a lot of different needs. And yeah, we will typically, as you will see, we will launch something and we'll continue to go back to it. So even our invoicing product, like that is just the first phase of that, but more is to come. Like pop-up checkout was another version of checkout. The pay what you want was a big one that we did. The multiple upsells and downsells. Like we will always just keep going, but it is a lot of stuff. Again, it's a privilege to work on the Kajabi product because it is very, very deep. There is a lot that you can do in it, but it's also a lot to maintain. A lot of pressure, but a good type of pressure to be able to serve like this industry. But it's complicated, is what I will say. Even doing the smallest of things, for example, like adding a trial period to multiple payments, like there's a lot behind the scenes that has to be unpacked to make that work, even though when it releases, you guys might just see like a box that you input a field. So I think that's one of the things with technology is people will say to me, but it's just a checkbox, Steph, it's just a field. I'm like, yeah, but there's a lot behind that field. And our engineers are there like really trying to make sure it's the most secure, because obviously payments has like a additional layer of security with everything we do as well. So that's a little bit of kind of like the behind the curtain of why. But yeah, we will always be forever respectful of our heroes business and want to always proceed with caution with anything that we're doing that relates to your payments and your checkout.
Yeah, I love that. I love hearing that. And Vinny last week was saying how Bill, who heads up the engineering team, was saying their motto is someone is always launching at any moment.
Always.
So
Always.
it doesn't matter. There's never a good time for things to go wrong.
Never ever a good time.
Yeah. Steph, thank you so much for being here and sharing the shopping cart. I'm excited. I can't wait to get this set up for our Black Friday sale next week and give it a good run. It's awesome, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people who are super excited. There's been so many people going, oh, it'd be so good if you could purchase two things at once for as long as I can, remember in this online space. So we have it. It's so soon. And hopefully it's going to, get out of that sort of early testing and head into labs. So that's just a reminder as well. And I forget this sometimes. I should put it as like a weekly reminder on my calendar. Go and check in labs which is under your settings in your Kajabi account, because sometimes you get little surprises in there and you're like, oh, what's this cool new thing? So even if you haven't been involved in the very early testing, the labs is where you'll get access to things before they roll out to the entire Kajabi ecoverse, for want of a better word. So so take a look in labs. Keep on in touch, with Unicorn World. We'll let you know. Steph will tell me when it's in labs if you want to try it out, when it goes outside of the early testing. And yes, it's so exciting to see what the future holds, what is in store, and all the awesome new payment options that we have, because we're all in this business to make money, even if we are on the more sort of heart-centered side of it. We're in a business. The business is to make money at the end of the day, so that we can keep going, we can keep serving. And I love it. I love all these extra ways to make money. Thank you, Steph. Tomorrow, more ways to make money in the coolest possible way. Gift offers. So Stanley is going to be joining us. He's going to take us through the new gift offers feature. I haven't even seen it yet, so I'm really busting to
I think this might actually be the very first time anyone is seeing it. So this is the official first sneak peek.
Okay, so do not miss that tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific. Stanley is going to join us, and I cannot wait. Thanks, Steph. We'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.